I just beat Doom the Dark Ages on Nightmare, and you are not going to believe what I'm about to tell you today. No story spoilers, don't worry. We're going to be going over the combat, story in general, exploration, and the music. Now, the combat is, wow, there's 3 pillars of it: guns, melee, and shield. And you need to learn how all of these synergize so you are able to most effectively use them. The guns feel powerful. It doesn't seem like there's any hit scan, but I like using the Impaler, but at least earlier on you can snipe out enemies with it. The Reaver chain shot is pretty cool too because you can break some armor, and it's just basically a punch. They all feel powerful. The SSG was one of my favorites because it's just so thick. Like, I know Doom Eternal had the meat hook and all that stuff, but man, this SSG is probably one of the series' most powerful, and you will feel it too when you get your hands on it. When it comes to weapon upgrades, they are critical. We upgraded Sentinel Shrines now at various parts of the level, so some people might be like, oh, well, you only get to upgrade at certain points. Interesting, but it works. Actually, you get to save your points for that time. Man, it's like these enemies are massive as well because they're just so oppressive. Like, I'm talking about these guns and all these kits, and the Slayer's super powerful, but the enemies are insane. Like, you will feel the pressure as the super heavies just jump in your face over and over again, and you have to keep that calm, that demeanor down to where you're like, okay, this guy is clearly invading my personal space too uncomfortably. How am I going to deal with that? And you have your shield to deal with it for the parries. Actually, yeah, it would be that. And it's a very powerful tool, and it is satisfying to launch it back to them. And that melee, oh my goodness, I love the final melee weapon. It is my favorite. It is so powerful. Using all those 3 things together with the enemy design that is ruthlessly in your face, so many of them on the battlefield, that you will be busy with the fight. The encounter structure, there's different types of leader demons in the morale meter, and it's not just, here's an arena, fight the enemies. They layer it, as they did in 2016 in Eternal, to where this enemy triggers there, and that enemy will trigger this one to spawn, and they pair up very well together. So for example, you have a pressure unit, like one of the super heavy demons, in your face, like trying to fight you down, then maybe you'll have a ranged enemy shooting you from the side that you have to watch for as well, so you don't get pelted by them. But you have the weapons to do it. Ultra Nightmare, going to be scary, and I just think that it's going to be a big challenge because it's a long game for sure. It took me around 23 hours to complete, not fully 100%ing, so you will have to learn how to utilize all your tools for victory. Now, we do need to talk about the mech and the dragon, the Atlan, and all that sort of thing, but the story elements, this is going to be controversial to some because a lot of people are like, oh, story in Doom, who cares? Hear me out, okay? The hardest part of doing this video spoiler-free is because all of the things I've seen, I so much want to tell you about, but I can't because it's spoiler-free. All these people are posting online, I got to play the game early, I'm at map 7, map 10, I've seen so many cool surprises. I'm like, yeah, you've seen surprises, but you've seen nothing yet. This game cannot be judged by the Act 1 alone, the siege demos you've seen, okay? Act 1 is very grounded. Doom 2016 itself was grounded, right? Mars, hell. Then Doom Eternal takes you to Urdak, which is a celestial realm, and that's a whole new thing for Doom. They've never done this before. Dark Ages is like, hold my beer, I am going to take you places that you've never been before. And you hear me say that. You hear Hugo and Marty say that. And you're like, yeah, sure, cool, man. Where are you going to take us? Well, I'm not going to tell you, but just know it is not what you're thinking. It's crazier. Things we've never seen in a Doom game before, and it fits and it works, but it's like, how do they come up with this? So, for example, I've seen people talking on the internet about like, will we get this thing? Will we get that thing? And I see what has happened now, and nobody is going to predict it. You're just not. You can think like this crazy thing will happen. You're not going to be able to predict it. It's not on anybody's bingo card for this year. And it's that way with the combat too, in that what you see at the beginning is great and it's fun, but it's truly when it opens up to the very end, you have your full entire kit against massive, huge enemies and bosses that you will truly test yourself. This combat loop is very skill-based, and you will need to push yourself to the limits. I'm not going to tell you about the bosses, don't worry. What I will say is that people are going to like them better than Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal has some criticism on its bosses. With this new Dark Ages combat loop and what they've done, I'm not going to tell you what, but they are better, and they surprise me, and I just want to tell you, but I'm not going to. There is a particular thing I'm thinking of, story-wise, that people have talked about. And it's around, see, here's the thing, it's around the later game, right? The story starts more reserved in the early game. As you get into Act 2, you begin to realize just how screwed up things can be. And Act 3, at the end of the game, is when id Software takes the gloves off and does not hold anything back and does something never done before. I cannot wait. to see your reactions to how the end game begins to start off. I'm not going to tell you what, but it will blow your mind. It will answer some questions that people have had in the community about some things, like will we get this or that in the game? You will see. And then if you think that's not enough, you'll go on to the next level, and it's like, oh, they did this thing. The next level, oh, they did this thing and this thing. Oh my gosh. I just want to tell you all about it, but I'm not going to because you came for no spoilers. The story is the wildest thing you've seen in a Doom game yet. Guarantee it. And it's not just the weapons, too. We have the Atlan and the Dragon that are in 3 and 4 levels. They don't overstay their welcome. They're not huge, long sections. So they give you a little bit of a pace breaker while still challenging yourself. So, you're still going to have to fight. Still, you're not going to be able to just, be lazy and go all the way through. But you will get a break from the foot action and a way to try yourself. And they evolve as you go. The mech, you get extra weapons and things as you go along. So that way it's not just a simple punch or a simple punch finisher. You get some extra stuff and ways to test your skills. It's not always 1v1 on the Atlan. We will say that. That's not a spoiler. But it's interesting how they've done. The Dragon, it doesn't really get the upgrades like the Atlan does, so it's still cool. But the cool part, I think, of the Dragon is where you go and some things you do. I'll stop there. We'll leave it at that before I get too carried away. The Glory Strike system is great because like beforehand you would just lock into a Glory kill, move, lock into a Glory kill, move. Well, now I can strike and get to turning as I'm striking to go toward my next enemy. So I might go strike the front, strike over here, and it's super nice to not be locked into that animation, to be able to fluidly move where you need to go. The shield saw, you can throw it, you can bounce it off the ground like a frisbee and knock it around. You can throw it, pull it back, or a really cool thing, rather than throw it and pull it back, here's what you can do. You can throw it, scoot to the side, and have it go outward to hit this pack of enemies and bring it back like a boomerang on the other side to hit them somewhere else. Super cool. Now, there are the shield runes that buff your shield up even more in addition to the shield upgrades. So the shield saw that you've seen in Siege has nothing yet. These upgrades are nice. They are pretty cool, but they add all of these layers and they make it to where it still keeps the game simple enough. When I say simple, it means you don't have a million button presses, but the depth adds, it goes deeper while making you stronger, rather than saying I have to learn how to use this rune on my shield. It's all in one with your shield. So it's kind of neat that you can have everything together and focus that way instead of learning I have to hit this button for this shield thing, this button for that shield thing. And you have your movement with the shield too, which is the bashing, which is basically the modern meat hook now. You can bash up to someone, over to someone here. So you want to have an enemy up here, you can dash up to his platform up here. You can throw the shield and break armor with it. You can throw the shield and stun lock enemies with it. There's lots of cool little things you can figure out. I didn't use the shotgun enough. It has a burning ability to get you some armor back, which is pretty cool, also handy, but it's risky. If you do that with a big crowd of enemies, they just might take your armor back that you just gained from all that fodder. It's just crazy some of the things they took Doom and they did not make Doom Eternal 2. They wanted to go wider and beyond and explore things that you will literally never expect. I know I'm just repeating it over and over again. I have got to see people's reactions when they see some of the stuff that's happened, when they get some of the answers, when they do some of these boss fights in these arenas. It is crazy. Now, the exploration is, you can go, there is no fast travel. I do miss fast travel. I have to say that. No game is perfect. This is true. I just wish we had fast travel because there is some backtracking, classic Doom style. Being that some of these levels are open air, some of them are not, you will be walking around a little bit, sprinting around. Sprint is very handy too, to be able to just sprint, jump, and bash down onto a crowd to get a good vantage point. But there's a lot of walking, a lot of backtracking. Secrets aren't too complicated. There are some tricky ones, but I just wish that we had a way to fast travel back to different parts of the level instead of running back to them. Your auto map is fantastic in showing you where to go and what to do and figuring out these secrets. I just wish we had another way to get to them. Now, being that there's no fast travel, you will have what's called points of no return. So when you get to a point of no return on your map, it will show you and say, hey, you can't go back once you hit there. Very much Doom 2016 liked, where you jump off of something and there's no ladder to go back up. That's good that they give you that, because if they didn't, then that would be some rougher design elements. So I'm very thankful for that. The visuals, the areas where you go to fight, some of the levels are open to where you can choose which objective you want to go to, kind of like Foundry or Argent Facility in Doom 2016, and some of them are more linear pathways. And it's interesting the decisions they've made and the levels they want to go to. There's one in particular I'm thinking of that when I got to that level, I'm like, how have we never been to this before? This is such an interesting idea to incorporate into level design in Doom. where did this come from? Like, when I got to this level, I'm like, what just happened? How did I get here? I did not expect to go here, of all places. Because I don't want to tell anymore. Man, see how difficult this is. You got to keep it spoiler free, right? So this optional stuff, you have optional battles if you want to fight them for different little rewards, which will really give people that are masochists a chance to test their self out. Now, some of the rewards you get aren't combat. Some of them are related, like upgrades. Some of them are cosmetically toy stuff. So you don't have to do all these optional fights to get a maxed out Slayer. But if you want them there, they are there. It's something that will give you an extra challenge. I really enjoyed, it's the Ballistic Force Crossbow is what it's called. It's very powerful. It is an extremely useful tool if you have a big wave of enemies and you just want to delete them, you delete them. Now, there are other ways you can use your shield to break things or to... You'll see what I mean on the puzzle solving. They give you extra little stuff to try with your shield. I won't tell you more about it, but it's interesting to see where they go with that. I just go to the story and how insane it is, and the scale of it is something that we have never seen in Doom before. The combat is something we have never seen in Doom before. They have pushed the boundaries with this and done so in a way that people's jaws are going to drop when they realize that this game is far deeper and far crazier than they thought they'd seen from the demos. Hugo and Marty must have been bursting at the seams when they said, we're going to go to new places, because they knew all along where we would go. They just did not reveal the scale of it yet. And you too will see it when you get there. Take my word for it. You've never seen it before in a Doom game, and it is massive. And what's so interesting to me about the music is that, I'm just going to be straight up with you, okay? I've had people in my comment section saying, like, Mick Gordon didn't compose this, so why even buy it? Here's the thing. Finishing Move, as they've released more and more music, we've noticed that people from the community go, oh, this is cool. Oh, this is nice. These guys might know what they're talking about. This is good. After playing through the game, it is a breath of fresh air. This is a different style of game, so there are thrashier tunes, things that are more upbeat and higher tempo that didn't necessarily work in Doom Eternal because you had all the fast-paced thrash from your gameplay, and now this is still fast. It's just fast in different ways. You're not quick switching left and right so much, but of course the community will find different tech and different things to do, but what you will find is that the music fits this medieval style. Finishing Move brings a fresh area to the game that we haven't had before. And it's not just fast tunes and thrash. If you miss the synthesizers, the chants, the creepy ambient music, it's all there. It fits. This music is designed to tell a story. It's not just metal tracks over top of heavy fighting and awesome, which is great. That is definitely there to a point. But the music is crafted in such a way is that you go on a journey with the Doomslayer and his friends, and you are told a story that unfolds in a blockbuster movie style, as Hugo wanted to say. Like, this is a movie, but it's not a movie. You have cutscenes that feel like movies, but this is a journey from the start all the way to the top in the way that other Doom games have never been before. And I am totally here for it. Subscribe for more Dark Ages content, and I will see you in the next one.